Umundirang ba kajala Conrad K sangmau long ba kamon mak jingsngo ki nongshong shnong ha ki jaka khappud kadai kawai ka bynta ka bokong san ha ka jingpan khreak sarkar ban pynbeit yo pot sambat kajala asam ha bakran che kilat pthai ko bor rin ka jelang bat ki regional committee bala thau da ka sarkar ban lumi ki jingtip nia ki jaka khappud umundirang ba ulong ba kani ka jelang ka long ban aila di committee ban IT kai phat ko bnia halor ki jinglap ki jingsem ki jingki kum ki shnong ki thau korkom jinglong jingman ha ki jaka nolor ki waipan.
This is the first meeting after these committees were formed. So the deputy commissioners were asked to give a presentation on their findings and more micro details about the different villages, the different current status of different aspects that are there in those villages. So each of the committees, where the member secretaries are the deputy commissioners, which is Ribhoy and West Khasi Hills and Jente Hills, specifically as of now East Jente Hills. So the reports were given, the chairmen of those committees were also present, and we got to see and get much more details on this. More exercise needs to be done because there are many more other factors. So basically today was really just a meeting to take forward the entire process of finding an amicable solution to the border differences that are there in between Assam and Meghalaya. And once we have done our homework, we will be having most probably another 2 to 3 sittings with these regional committees, and these regional committees will of course have their own sittings also. And once I think after this session is over, then there may be joint meetings and joint visits being done by those regional committees. So as I said, today was a very long meeting, but it was the crux of the meeting was basically to see the first report that was prepared by the regional committees. So there was no finding as such. It's basically the report of the facts that are there. It's too much in micro detail. It goes into the different kind of communities that are settled, the number of villages that are there, the administrative convenience that is there in these villages, whether it's they are in the Meghalaya census or in Assam census, whether they're taking power from our side or from Assam side. So it's more of a detail on the facts and what the current status of those villages are. So really we went into those details, and of course our officials have made visits to these villages also, and so we got some kind of first-hand feedback also as to the mindset of these villages. But as I said, there are large numbers, so it will not be possible for me to go into details. But my point being that we are very serious about this, and that's the reason why we had this meeting today, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to take this forward and actually find an amicable solution. Yes, so basically the information that has come to us is that the committees are ready and should be notified in the next 24 hours to 48 hours. So it is, our notifications have already come out. Now we expect that maybe in the next day or two, we expect that some notification will also come out. As far as my knowledge goes, all the actual homework has been completed, and the notifications are ready, just waiting for the final approval, which again, as I said, I will not be able to comment on the Assam side. But the information to me is that in the next 1 or 2 days it will be notified. This entire exercise that we're doing will require us to really shift from our old stance and the old way of really looking at this problem. This entire process will require us to look at it from a different perspective and find, I should say, out-of-the-box solutions to these problems. So therefore we have decided that we need to, of course, look at the historical facts, but then we also need to see the current situation in which the people are staying. We need to see the kind of community and the ethnicity that is there. We need to see the administrative convenience and the linkages that are present out there. We need to see what is the mood of the people in those areas, how the economic activities have been going on. So it's really trying to see the holistic picture from the history point of view as well as the current status point of view, and trying to see if there are areas where we may be able to agree without really having differences, and decide that it is making a lot of sense, and trying to see there are common grounds that are there, and we strongly feel that there are such common grounds. We strongly feel that there are a lot of areas that we say are dispute, but actually when you go down to the micro details, we realize that actually there is no dispute in a large number of those areas. So we are hopeful that if not many, 20-30% of these villages where we have been saying are under dispute, we may find that actually there is no dispute in those. So that's the kind of area we're trying to look at. And then obviously there will be certain areas which have complications. You need to do more homework in that. And obviously there will be some areas which are very, very complicated, which will require a bit more discussion. So we don't want to club the entire thing into one problem, but rather break it down to smaller problems and find a solution. I have been repeating this again and again. There are many factors. So we'll have to look at all those factors into the consideration and then only take a call. So referendum is maybe just one part of the whole thing. Referendum is a very simple word of seeing what the people's will is. But as I said, that is one part of the factor that we'll look at. We'll look at ethnicity, we'll look at administrative convenience, we'll look at the historical facts. So we'll look at all of this and try to balance things out and take things.